Britain's defense ministry said on Sunday it was not yet clear how Russia would achieve an announced large increase in its armed forces, but the boost was unlikely to substantially increase its combat power in Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a decree last week to increase the size of Russia's armed forces to 2.04 million from 1.9 million as the war in Ukraine enters its 7th month. Have you ever imagined to lead a real country and army in a modern global warfare? Now you can do that for free in an online strategy game, Strike of Nations. You can destroy your enemies and strike them, but be careful with all the nuclear and chemical weapons launched from powerful aircraft carriers. Prove your skills with various types of powerful war tanks. A lot of artillery. Test your pilot skills with different airplanes. Or become a Star Emperor and take the fights on other planets, attack and conquer bases. To play one of the top 5 games on iPhone and Android devices, click on the link in the description to join 20 million other downloads of Strike of Nations. The UK Defence Ministry said in a regular update on the war that it was not clear if this would be achieved by recruiting more volunteers or by increasing conscription. Either way, it would likely not have a big impact on the war in Ukraine given Russia has lost tens of thousands of troops, very few new contract servicemen are being recruited, and conscripts are technically not obliged to serve outside of Russian territory, the ministry said on Twitter. Meanwhile, Ukrainian intelligence said that Russia has no more than 45% of its missiles left. Vadim Skibitsky of the Defense Ministry's Intelligence Directorate also said Russia has a difficult situation with its Caliber missiles and about 20% or less of its Iskander ballistic missiles left. The situation regarding the quantity of missiles is serious. According to our calculations, they now have no more than 45% of the missiles they had before the war. They are especially short of Iskanders. Only 20% of the initial quantity remains, maybe even less. The situation is serious as regards Caliber missiles as well. It is an effective weapon, but there are not many of them. This is why Russians are using ground versions of the X-22 and C-300 missiles, but even these reserves are being depleted, Skibitsky said. Skibitsky pointed out that according to all normative documents, Russia has to have 30% of its reserves, but the occupiers have almost completely run out of certain types of missiles, such as Iskanders. This is why Ukrainian intelligence predicts that Russia will use other means of destruction. In particular, the occupiers are actively using Uragens and Smerch rockets that allow them to launch attacks at a short distance, 70 to 80, sometimes up to 100 kilometers. Russians are actively launching attacks on Mykolaiv, Zaporizhia Oblast and Kharkiv with these systems. Skibitsky believes that Russians will be trying to destroy the Ukrainian infrastructure and heating network facilities, as well as to disrupt the order of battle and put pressure on the local population. According to intelligence reports, Russians only have 30 to 40 Kinzhal missiles. These were the first to enter service and did not enter mass production. They have been using it, it is an effective weapon, but it is being used to demonstrate their strength to us and our partners, including the USA and China. Thus they are demonstrating that they have hypersonic weapons, Skibitsky summed up. Strike of Nations is a free online PvP strategy game happening in a modern global warfare where you can collect resources and build your base and fight your way to victory. Get an exclusive gift by clicking on the link in the description to get $20 pack, and don't miss the opportunity to fight with me or against me.